And we will begin in a lying position, adjust to match semi. So do lie down on your back. You don't need to curl up like her. We're not that flexible. But lying down is a good idea to begin with. If you haven't brought a block or you don't have one, that's fine too. Just grab a tougher cushion. If you do have a block, have the block near your mat somewhere, and of course everything else that you might need for relaxation. And then lying down on the back, being comfortable, so knees can be straight or bent, whatever you prefer. And you can even rest your arms where they feel good. Now, on Monday, as some of you know, we started to play with the eagle. The eagle as a posture as well as a mudra. So I will remind those of you that have joined me on the Monday and those of you who haven't practiced the mudra before, what that could look like. And if you like to have that resting against your chest or abdomen, feel free to do so. So it would be the left hand that palm faces the body. The right hand goes on top, and then you're sliding it a little bit across so the thumbs can hook up. And once the thumbs are hooked up, you can spread your fingers out. And then that might, wherever that's comfortable against the upper body, you could rest it there. If you choose to do this Garuda Mudra, make sure that you can still relax down into the shoulders, and maybe the hands are a bit softer than actively stretched out. This is just a could do if it feels right, and nothing you have to do. You could instead just stay with relaxed arms away from the body, for example. Garuda Mudra is one that encourages circulation and can bring relief from discomfort or pain. So a nice one to begin the practice with, as we will encourage even more flow. If you have chosen the mudra, start to notice what happens around your hands and if you can feel some shift of energy throughout the body. Focus on similar sensations if you haven't. Just noticing how the body adjusts to a lying position and what your energy levels are like. Then begin to deepen your breathing. You can keep the mudra or not. And as you begin to deepen the breathing, noticing the rise and fall of the body. And as we will begin soon with some core movements, I invite you to use your core when breathing. So on the exhalation, drawing the skin under the navel, down through the body in the direction of your tailbone. And when you're breathing in, you're letting that go. You can still use your full yogi or ujjayi breaths together with that activation of the core and pelvic floor. So on the exhalation, skin under the navel, move it through and down to the tailbone and relax that and expand on the in-breath. Eagle is a magnificent bird with so many interesting qualities. And once more for this week, you can choose to take one or all of them as an intention, as they are vision, freedom, authority, and inspiration. Allow a few more breaths to flow deeply and rocking your core. Before we begin to move. Now, if you have your legs out long, please bend the knees and step the feet onto the ground. Release of the mudra if you are holding it, and relax the arms. We will keep the breath as we were just then with that activation on the out breath. You could keep the arms slightly away from the body, but I recommend to turn the palms down to the floor. To still keep your shoulders grounded and to be slightly active in your arms. They're here to help you stabilize, actually more so the pelvis and torso. Let's begin with our left leg. On a breath in, lift your knee gently over your chest. Flex your foot, and as you're breathing out, activate your core and slide the leg out long or extend it just above the ground. Then point the toes, and as you're breathing in, bring the leg back in towards the chest, flexing the foot, breath out as you're extending. So this appears to be fairly easy as we continue, pointing when you're breathing in and taking the knee towards the chest, flexing as you're breathing out and really engaging your core so the pelvis, torso stay more or less still. Keep going like this. Very simple to begin with, but building a connection with your breath and the core strength. And as we continue these movements, you might notice that they do become a little bit stronger. I will invite you now to add a movement. So we're bringing the knee in, we're still extending the leg out. Then bring the knee in, open the arms and twist towards your right, keeping one knee floating and rocking to the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale, center yourself, turn the hands to the floor. Exhaling, extending the leg out long and keeping your quality of inner strength and stability. Inhale, bring the knee into the chest. Open the hands, breath out for a twist to the right. Inhaling, center yourself, palms to the ground, foot is flexed, and out breath to extend the leg. We'll repeat that as you breathe in, bring the knee in, open the arms, exhaling into a twist to the right. We'll go for two more. Center yourself, palms to the ground, foot flexion, exhaling to extend the leg. Pointed, bring it in, turn the palms upwards, and exhaling for a twist. Last round. Hands down as you center, foot in flexion, exhaling with stability, extending the leg out. Bring it in, turn the palms up once more and twisting to the right. Center yourself out, place the foot towards the ground and relax. Keep the palms facing upwards for a moment and take just two deep full yogi or ujjayi breaths. Noticing sensations in the body. And that can include anything really. It doesn't have to be the sensation of strength. So it could be some warmth or colder areas in the body as well. Let's turn the palms of the hands back onto the ground, keeping the arms slightly away from the body, and we begin the same movement with the right leg. On the in-breath, bring your right knee loosely over your chest. Then flex the foot, engage your core as you're breathing out, extending the leg along the floor or just above. Point the foot, breathe in and bring your leg back over the chest. Flex it, exhaling to extend. Now, as I have been talking quite fast, my movement became a little bit faster. Please do continue that, but be mindful that the movement stays slow, deliberate, and that you're bringing your awareness into the stability, especially when you're extending. So pointing the foot as you bring the knee into the chest, that's your in-breath, then flexing as you're breathing out to extend. So we'll get the same movement happening one more time. As you breathe in, bring the knee to the chest, and when breathing out, extending the leg out. Now we're adding our twist. Point as you breathe in, bring the arms to open, and when you're breathing out, twisting to your left. Inhale, center, hands to the ground, flex the foot, and breath out to extend with the stability of the core. Inhaling, bring the knee in, open the arms, exhaling into a twist. Inhaling, center, palms touch the ground, foot flexing, breath out, and extend the leg out long. Keep moving slowly as you breathe in, the knee moves to the chest, the hands are opening, breath out into a twist. Inhale, center, palms to the ground, foot is flexing, exhaling to extend out long. Repeat that for 2 more only. Breathe in to bring it in, breath out for a twist. Breath in to center, palms down, exhaling with inner strength, extending. And our last round, breathing in, bring the knee in, exhaling to twist. Center yourself and step the foot to the ground, leaving the arms open and just pausing here, acknowledging how you're feeling. I will invite you into the Eagle Mudra. So placing your left hand across the chest, right hand on top, hook the thumbs up. This time we're actually spreading the fingers out actively and they're pointing towards the shoulders. Keeping a stronger hook on the thumbs here as well. Now, notice your gaze is upwards, your feet are still on the ground. And as you're next exhaling, lifting through the upper body, keeping the mudra and the gaze unchanged. Inhale, lie yourself back. So we're not moving towards the knees. We're literally lifting the shoulders and keeping our gaze upwards. Inhale, lying back. Exhaling, lifting. Inhaling, lying back. If this is too easy, just keep the head floating above the ground. Thinking about the lower abdomen. We have a tendency when we're lifting up to bulge out the belly. See if you can do the opposite as it is in our breaths. The core is switching on in the lower part as well. Head is too heavy. Release the mudra. Place some fingertips behind the head instead. Just 2 more lifting. Then pause again. Release the mudra, relax your arms. We will leave everything as is, but we will change in the movement. So I'd ask you now to bring your left hand or fingertips behind the head. You can keep the right arm resting. Now, as you're breathing out, bring your right knee in, your left elbow towards the knee. You can extend the right leg out and open your elbow, exhaling as we bring it in. So we've got a fair bit of practice in extending the leg. If this isn't yours, just keep the knee bend and rest it to the ground, making sure you're not pulling on your head. If you want a little bit more still, lift the right arm off the floor and reach into the right direction, right and downwards as you're lifting. If this feels good for you, extend your left arm as well. Reach it in the same direction as the right one. Last one. Then step the foot down, release the head, relax the arms. I'm fairly sure that you're feeling some sensations across the tummy. Maybe there's others to explore as well. Quite interesting to notice, as we've only done one side, that will fade soon. Let's bring the right hand or fingertips behind the head. Left arm can stay resting for now. And as you're breathing out, bring your left knee to the chest, right elbow in the direction of it. You can extend the leg out or step it to the ground when you're inhaling. Exhaling, go into a twist. Inhaling, extend and open, and exhaling for your twist. Do not pull on the head. It's not important how close elbow and knee can come together. If you want a little bit more, take your left arm off the ground, leave it hovering off the floor, and extend it out into the left lower corner. Adding a slight bit more if you choose to, as you could now extend your right arm as well across, if that feels right for you. Last one. Stepping the foot down, releasing the arms, releasing the head. Turn the head from side to side, just in case there was any tension from holding the head. And we will change movement before we change bodily position. For now, bring your feet up into the air, your knees a little bit wider, the feet can be relaxed here. If you need support for the head at any time, bring one hand behind the head and occasionally changing that hand so you're more balanced. Let's bring the arms in between the legs so that the feet are roughly about shoulder distance now and the hands are about hip distance. Let's breathe in. And as you're breathing out, push forward with the hands, pull back with the knees. Inhale, lying back even. And exhaling, pull in and push forward. Inhale and exhale. Stay with that just for a few more. So knees here can stay bent unless you feel you need to do something extra. Then extend the legs out, but bend them again as you're pushing through. If you still want more because you can't get enough, extend the arms up while you're extending the legs and then push and pull. Only 2 more after this one. And I hope you found your place of movement. Then as you lie down, just squeeze the knees into the chest and maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. I would love to bring some space into the front of the body before we come up to sit. So place your feet down for a bridge pose, which means you step the heels as close as they can naturally get to the buttocks. Having the feet at hip distance, the toes pointing straight in line with the hips, arms down by your sides. Let's inhale, tilt the pelvis, spine flattens out. Then squeeze your buttocks, and as you're breathing out, lifting the hips. And the only thing I ask you here is pause. Pause and really squeeze upwards, creating some openness here in the pelvis. And let's bring in some gentle movement. Inhale, relax the buttocks, lower the hips, but keep them floating. And exhale as you squeeze them upwards. So buttocks is switched on. Inhale, lower, relax the pelvic area, and breath out as you're squeezing upwards. Stay with that for a few more breaths. Completely relaxing the glutes and then doing the opposite while you're squeezing upwards. After your next one, pause again in the bridge. And then remind yourself of your inner strengths that helps with stability. Switch that on and roll gently down, touching just one vertebra down at a time until your spine and then the pelvis hit the floor. Let's extend the legs out long onto the mat. You could keep them at hip distance apart. Flex the feet so the toes are pointing up, gluing your arms down by the sides of the body. Taking a breath in as you're lifting the arms up over the head and have a big swing, or help yourself with hands down, lifting up into sitting. Take yourself from here onto all fours. So find a stance where the knees are hip distance and the hands are roughly shoulder distance apart. Find your wrists slightly out from underneath the shoulders so you're more neutral in the spine. And please do consider the neck as part of your spine, which means to have the head gently lifted for the natural curve. Now from here, let's lift the right leg, extend it backwards. Lifting the left arm and extending it forward. As you're breathing out, bring elbow and knee together and round your back. As you breathe in, extend. As you're breathing out, move the right leg to the right, the left arm to the left. Inhale, come back into length. Exhale, elbow, knee meeting underneath and rounding. Inhaling, extending. Open arm and leg to the sides. Inhale, center again. Exhale, elbow, knee meeting underneath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, open into the sides. Breathe in, come to center. Exhale, elbow, knee. Once more, extending, opening out to the side. Release now, knee, hand to the floor. Of course, we will do that on the other side as well. So the left leg is extending backwards. Right arm moves forward. On the out breath, bring elbow and knee together and round your back. Inhaling, extend. Open your arm and leg out to their sides. Center again. Exhale, round, elbow, knee. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, open. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, curling in. Go again. Breathe in, extend. Open on the out breath. In breath, center. Exhale, curling in. Once more, extend. Open. Then center. And bring your hands back down as we're arriving once more on all fours. I will ask you now to extend just the right leg for now. If this feels that's what you want to do, it's strong enough, stay here, focus on the upper body and arm strength. If you want more, extend your left leg as well. Finding yourself in a full plank. You can then choose to place your left knee back down or roll to inner outer edge of the foot and lift the right arm. So you're either in a full side plank or you've got your left knee on the ground to support the side plank. Of course, have you got the happiest smile on as we're working with strength? I will ask you from here all to place your left knee down, to pull down into sit, to turn yourself so you can properly sit, bringing the hands or fists behind you for an upward facing tabletop. If you think that is way too easy, can you extend your legs? But in this case, the legs will be touching rather than hip distance, and you would point out through your toes for an upward facing plank. Otherwise, hips, feet are hip distance down. Let's all squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips up, keep your gaze forward for a moment. If your neck is happy, guide the chin carefully upwards and then the head backwards. We will all squeeze strongly through the glutes as we're holding our position. And then slowly lower down to sit again. Let's bring the right knee down onto the mat. Right hand is down. We're lifting through the hip and extending the left leg out. Left arm will be lifting. So we're starting from a supported side plank. No good excuse other than your body not wanting to extend the right leg into a full side plank. From there, bring the hand down and turn yourself back into a normal plank or kneeling plank, holding here happily. Then lower down onto the mat as you exhale. Wave it up for a cobra as you're breathing in. And on the out breath, transition into your first down dog. So lift the hips up, and you might need some movement now in the feet, in the hips or the arms. Just noticing what feels right for you here. Then walk your feet to the hands. Taking a breath in as you lengthen forward into a half lift. Then breathe out into a full bend. You might want to have a block here. So placing a block between your thighs. Leaving the knees free and adjusting the width of the stance. Now you can do the same with cushion, but the cushion would rather be a little bit tougher so the legs don't come too close together. Then bend your knees a lot. Rest your forearms on top of your thighs. Squeeze into the block if you've got one there or something else. Holding this inner tension, but inhale, lift your gaze and tailbone. Squeeze the block even harder as you're breathing out to round your spine and tuck the chin in. Inhaling, open your front. Exhaling, round your back. Now I invite you to stay with those, and you can modify them if they are too strong. So we're holding the block on the inhalation, but really squeezing it on the out breath and the rounding of the back. If you can, stay with that for 3 more from here. And once you've completed, straighten the legs, release your block, and curl yourself up into standing. Let's take a breath in and extend the front of the body. Maybe even allowing the heart to lift a little bit extra. Start to engage a bit more into the glutes and draw the tailbone downwards as you're lifting a little bit more, yet still through the heart space. And then let's slide Garuda Mudra down in front of the chest. Left hand comes in, right hand on top, and we've got our thumbs hooked up, the palms facing us. That's it. Now we'll play around with this for a moment. On a breath in, lift the mudra and your left knee. Keep this stability as you're breathing out. Take the mudra to the heart. Lean forward and lightly land the foot to the ground. Now breathe in, lifting the arms up high. Come back to the mudra as you're breathing out and sink down into your knees. Inhaling, reaching up, maybe a little back bend. And breath out as we come back to the mudra, knee lowering towards the floor. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, come lower. One more, breathing in and breathing out. Keep the mudra in front of the chest. Shift the weight to your right foot as we're reversing. Lifting the left foot off the floor. Bring it in and up towards the chest. Reach the arms up once more. Release the mudra all together. And then landing down on your feet as the arms are releasing. So the core strength we've cultivated earlier comes in handy here with these movements. The mudra, however, is always the same. If you feel it takes you really out of balance, you could try the right hand facing the body. I prefer to go with is suggested. So the left hand is facing again. We're hooking the thumbs up as the right hand crosses over, fingers spread out nicely, and we're standing tall. Now let's move with the right knee upwards. As you lift the mudra, lift your right knee, that's your in-breath. And then be strong and slow as you take your hands in the direction of the chest, tilting forward, extending the right leg back, and with control and lightly landing in your lunge. On the in-breath, stretch up. You can release the mudra and add light back bends. Then hook the thumbs back up and breathe out and lower the knee towards the floor. We're inhaling, extending maybe even the chest. And when breathing out, stay nice and tall. The mudra is in front of you and you're lowering the knee towards the mat. Few more to go. Inhale to open. Exhale to draw in. Inhaling, lift to open. Exhaling, drawing in. This next one is our last one. And we're holding in the mudra and the lunge. Again, shifting the weight forward to the left foot this time. See if you can reverse it. Take the right foot off the floor. Then bring the knee in. Lift the arms, release the mudra. And then landing on the foot as you relax your arms down. And yes, there's a good time to move around a little bit. If you do have a block, grab that now. It comes in handy as we use a forward bend. You don't have a block, choose a shelf or something else to hold on to. Now I'm leaning forward here. My knees are lightly soft, so just out of the lock, and I place my fingertips onto the block. Now find that place where your knees are bent enough so you can lengthen your whole back forward. And once again, do include the neck so that it looks more like a half lift that is here held and supported by a block. So the gaze is more or less down, but forward. We'll shift the weight onto the right foot. Let's lift the left leg out to the side. And then let's bounce this leg a little bit on the left. Keep the bouncing happening. Then pause it right there. Move it back into a diagonal. Mind the length of your spine and bounce in the diagonal. Very good. Now let's move the leg all the way behind and you can now point your toes. Bend into your standing leg. Release your block. Lift yourself up. Grow wings. Cross your left leg over the right for eagle legs. Now we're adding eagle arms. Left arm underneath the right as you wind your arms up. If you prefer, return to Eagle Mudra or shoulder hug. Let's relax the shoulders. And as you're inhaling, let's open and lift the elbows and the gaze. And as you're exhaling, lean your elbows down towards your knees. Now you can tuck your big toe to the ground or ignore me altogether. Inhaling. Lifting if you choose and opening your front. And exhaling as you're drawing your elbow in the direction of your knees. So curling through the spine. Don't rush it. Let's see if we can repeat that once more. Inhaling, open. And exhaling to curl in. Now from this curled in position, unwind this posture all together. Lift your wings, your knee, and then landing down. Give the right leg a bit of movement. Or go for a little walk. Then we'll choose to do the same or similar on the other side. Please ignore whatever doesn't feel right in your body or adjust it a bit. So let's lean forward towards the block. Feet in a comfortable distance, and do bend your knees as much as you need to lengthen forward into this half lift. Your gaze is down but in front. We're shifting the weight to the left foot now. Lifting the right foot off the ground, flex it, and start to bounce it out onto the side. Keeping as much length in the spine as is possible for you. Now let's pause this Bring the leg backwards just to a diagonal. Once you've reached that, bounce the leg again. So tiny little bounces with the leg. Then we'll pause, extending the leg backwards. Now let's bring a bend into the standing leg. You now know what's coming. Lifting up through the arms, the knee, and we will cross over. Now you can cross over and already tap your big toe to the ground for support, or you can go with the full balance. Let your right arm wrap underneath the left for another eagle pose. Shoulders relaxing. So that's your normal eagle pose of balance. That's complete in itself. If you choose to move with me, there's only 3 rounds. On the in-breath, lift the elbows and your gaze. And on the out-breath, curl in, elbows to your knees. Inhaling then to lift and open. Exhaling the elbows to the knees. And if your pace is slower than mine, that's perfectly fine. Go with the balanced. Inhaling to lift and open. It's already the last round. And breathing out to curl in. As we unwind this lifting through the knee, the arms like wings. And then hopefully you're more graceful than I am. Release the foot down. Release your arms. Maybe walking out your legs or giving the standing leg a shake. We won't need the block for now. Just taking that over to the side. Coming to stand at the front end of your mat. Let's breathe in and extend the body. And on the out breath, folding forward. Stay for a moment in the forward bend. Find a comfortable stance in the feet. The weight just lightly forward. Shoulders drawing gently up into the shoulder socket. And you will shake the head for a no. Yes. And maybe. Finding some release, maybe in the neck, because we've been holding it with the leg lifts in a very awkward and strong position. When you're next inhaling, lengthen forward, half lift. And when breathing out, step your feet back into downward facing dog. Let's breathe in and take the knees down onto the mat. Bring the forearms down onto the floor. We're playing around with an inversion. Taking a hold of your elbows so you've got the ideal distance for the elbows, that's shoulder distance. As you release the hands from the elbows, keep them glued to the floor. Once the hands are pointing forward, interlace them and open the palms of the hands towards you. Stepping your knees potentially a little bit closer. Now, for some of you, it will be plenty to just rest the forehead onto the hands. If your blood pressure and head pressure is okay, you can tuck the chin in and place the top of the head down, but now in front of the hands, with the palms of the hands touching the back of your head. So that feels nicely held. You're lowering down some weight into the forearms, keeping your shoulders lifted. This is perfect, just as it is. I invite you to stay there. If you know where this could go and you do know that your neck and shoulders are in a good condition and very happy, you can take this further. But I won't tell you how to, because I can't be there to assist if necessary. Allowing your head to be low for another 3 breaths. When you think it is enough, you can sit back to the heels, stack your fists and rest the forehead onto stacked fists, or you could pull in your block and rest the forehead onto the block. Once we're here, we're taking again care of our neck, especially if you had the crown of the head down. There might have been a slight bit of weight in the neck, so you might carefully turn your head from side to side and finding this place of comfort again. Placing your hands down in front of your knees this time, push down into the floor and rise up to sit. Let's bring our legs out long in front. We're needing a little bit more space in our bodies, I think. So let's begin with the knees a little bit bent. If you need some support to sit on, maybe roll up your mat or pop a cushion underneath. Bring the hands down by your sides and point your toes to face to the ceiling. And then breathe in, sitting up straight. And as you're breathing out, walk the hands forward, touch your belly towards the thighs. And only walk the hands to the point where the shoulders are still at ease. Then lower your gaze down. Simple seated forward bend. If anyone can comfortably touch the feet, feel free to hold on. But that's not our goal. You can hold on anywhere. Even the floor by the sides of the legs is nice. And allow yourself to deepen this experience with each out breath. A few more breaths to create length into your back line. Finding a little bit more quiet. If your hands are holding on anything else but the floor, ground them back down onto the floor by the sides. Bring the hands into the ground as you lengthen your spine forward. Now take your left hand and bring it across to the outside of your right leg. This is a perfect position. You could also reach for the outer edge of your right foot. Make sure your feet are in a parallel state as you breathe in to extend your left arm backwards. Now we're in a quite strong twist. Gaze could move back towards the hand if you choose to. And anything else from here might be just a play, or you consider not to. You could slide your right foot in and then lift it off the ground, keeping the right arm extended backwards. You might also want to extend the right leg. Remember, these are just options. If you feel this way inclined, lean between the sit bones and lift the left foot too. Maybe even extending both legs. Release your left hand from the right leg, turn it into a boat pose. Then step the feet to the ground. Take a hold of your feet, shins, or ankles. As you breathe in, find length in your spine. Feet are already flexed, and as you breathe out, move or slide the legs forward as your torso aligns back into Paschimottanasana, the straight seated forward bend. Placing your hands again by the sides of your legs. Breathe in as you press down into the hands to find the extension of your spine. And now take your right hand across to the outside of your leg or the outer edge of the left foot. Make sure your feet stay parallel for now. And as you breathe in, let the left arm move backwards into a twist. You can choose to look towards the hand or change your gaze and keep it more centered. Experiencing this twist. And from the twist, could you play again? As you might bring your left foot up, maybe extending into the left leg. We're still in the twist, and if you like now, stay between your sit bones while you're sliding your right foot in. Maybe that comes off the floor too. Maybe you're extending the right leg as well. Then let go of the foot and center into a boat variation. And we will sink this boat then all the way down to the floor. Now, if you like, it's quite chilly today, or so early in the morning. If you like your socks and jumpers, please do put them on. And then meet me lying again down on the back. Just a brief excursion back into the eagle before we relax. So allow your feet to be on the ground. Take your left leg and cross it over your right. Take your left arm and swing it under the right, winding the arms up back into your eagle shape or shoulder hug. You can lift the right foot off the floor now. And on the elbow, squeezing elbows, knees together. As you inhale, lower, and exhale to squeeze in. Breath in and breath out. We won't do too many. Last one in this position. You will step the right foot back down. Take a breath in to open your arms out. And as you're exhaling, let your knees as wind up as they are fall to the left-hand side. So we're increasing a little bit the stretch into the right or across the right hip. Uncross your legs. Center them again. Right leg swings over the left. Right arm crosses under the left as we return to shoulder hug or eagle arms. Lifting your left foot off the floor. On the elbow, squeezing elbows, knees together. Inhale as you open. Exhaling to squeeze back in. Keep going like this. Inhale as you open as you can rest the head down if you like, and on the elbow, squeezing elbows and knees together. Last one here on this side. As you release the head and the foot back down, take a breath in to open your arms out wide, and then let your wound up knees fall to the right. Unwind your legs and center them again. Please now check in with your body. What's the last movement that your body requires? Is it a hug of the knees to the chest? Is it maybe a full body stretch? Just feel in, have that last movement for yourself before you use all your comfort and cushioning to come into Shavasana or your resting pose. Take your time to arrive there, closing the eyes or steadying your gaze when you feel ready. Acknowledging the slowing down of the body. As always, you have the choice now to stay with exactly that awareness of body or breath. Or you could take your mind back towards the ego. When ego soars into your skies, she brings with her the gift of freedom, born of the courage to see beyond all limits. Ego comes to awaken the visionary in you. She calls you to the high place of your purest dreaming. She comes to remind you that you did not come here to be tangled or suppressed by life. You did not come here to be weighed down by the details of your day to day, but to rise with the breath of your great spirit, to stretch your heart and vision beyond what may have once seemed realistic or appropriate, into the wide open field of all possibility. From the mountaintop of my being, I see a world of infinite possibility. I open my wings and let go of limits. My great spirit lifts me higher. I bring visions of heaven back to earth. Allowing your breaths to deepen gently, maybe inviting movement back. And then join me in a seated position when you're ready. Hands might touch down by the side of the hips, just to feel the connection to the earth, to the ground. And then taking a deep breath and reaching right up into the sky. And for a last time, will we hook our thumbs up? The left hand is closer to the body, and we're drawing Garuda Mudra down in front of our chest. Allow yourself 3 deep, full breaths. Once you have completed those, turn the hands to touch in Anjali Mudra. And from there, with these qualities within us, we're extending to each other. Namaste.